Damn. It's been a minute, yo. Holy. Alright, but for real, I'm gonna get a face cam. And once I get that face cam, we live streaming. Alright, so because I'm gonna start live streaming raw sessions, London, AM, PM, bro. You feel me? But anyways, I wanna show you how I scalp real quick, so we're gonna hop on the computer. Alright, so let's start by looking at news events. So Tuesday is a bank holiday. Monday, we got pretty much nothing. Wednesday, low to medium impact FOMC member speaking. Thursday, we have CPI, so it's sketchy. Tentative, I don't know what this means. I don't know what that means. Friday, we have red folders, yellow folders, tentative again, and some morning news events here. Kind of sketchy week, especially this and the bank holidays. Throw it off. Wednesday should be a normal day. This should be a normal day. But then again, Fridays are always, Fridays suck. But let's go to charts. So you guys can't see, but I have another screen to my left. This chart here and this chart. This is my higher time frame chart for, I guess you can say, bias. This is my 5-minute chart for lower time frame analysis. And then there is this one, which is my execution chart. So usually I'll have my orders panel here. I can put it up, but I'm not obviously placing trades. It's Sunday, but this is how I would, this is where I trade through here. Trade with a prop firm, and it's connected through ATAS platform connected by Rhythmic. Anyways, let's get into how I trade. So basically I have a big trades filter, and this looks crazy. Let me make sure this is right settings. So yes, so it's cumulative trades for a minimum volume of 40. The chart that I have to my left, this one, this other lower time frame 5-minute, this chart is a big trades, but it's filtered differently. This one's filtered through separated trades, and sometimes I would put 25 contracts or 30, and this just shows me big individual orders. Not sure. Okay, there we go. So it's a little clearer to view, and you can see these are individual orders rather than cumulative orders. So it's a big difference when you have this is kind of filtered down. So I have this to the side on a 5-minute. Like I said, if I can drag this, there we go. So this is to the side of on my other monitor, and then here I have the cumulative trades filtered by a bigger amount, which was 40. Sometimes I put it up to 45 because it can get a little crazy, but I like to leave it at 35 to 40. It's more, especially for London session, but you have to think that you have to remember these are cumulative trades, so these are multiple people. This 90 contract, like this 90 box here of contracts, that can be 5 different participants. You know what I mean? Whereas the filter to the left of my screen is a individual participant. Anyways, that's the big trade. And then for bias, I usually look at volume profile or filtered by session, and I use regular trading hours. When I trade AM, it is nice to flip through RTH and ETH to get a full view and then a kind of sharper view with RTH. I just trade my value areas and my POCs with either a breakout scenario or a in range scenario. Whereas if we are in range, like here, you can see prices ranging. Let's turn this down. This is more for like bias when you want to see the overall view, but when you want to see a small consolidation area, it's nice to drag out this tool. And this is just a same thing. It's just filtered to this area individually. As you can see the box, so I can see the balance area. So you can see once we bounce price up top here, bounce here, hit it second time, third time, we can pretty much not guarantee, but expect price to bounce back up to the POC. So right here on this third time, we have a trade. That is a imbalance trade. We're in range. We're ranging. Price is ranging. It's your volume profile, and we zoom in here and we look at big trades. When we see aggression, that confirms our trade. Aggression is what? These big orders. So if we see absorption, we would see a lot of sellers orders and then maybe a little bit of buyers orders holding at this level. And we see a little bit of absorption with sellers and then a little bit of buyers, but the buyers get more of a reward rather than the sellers. So you can see we come back up to the POC. So around here would be your entry. And then you can see down here I have these stats, and these stats kind of show me the change in delta. And it's nice to see when you're in session, not so much when it's static like this, because you can see how the numbers are changing. It's almost like reading tape. I'm not going to explain it too much now because, as you can see, it's a lot of information to go through. If you guys would like to see that video, please let me know. But this is pretty much how I trade in range. Now, when I trade a breakout scenario, it's a little different. I don't like to, we could do it like this. So usually I like to trade breakouts from daily ranges or session ranges. So we would use the blue profile. But since we did just have a breakout trade or a range trade, see price broke out here. Now, you don't want to take the first breakout. You want to come back into a low volume node around here. There's call that a low volume node. You see once price broke out of this value area, came a little bit higher, came into this low value node, we have a breakout trade, but it stops out. And that's why, for example, I don't like trading in small ranges like this because the breakout's not that efficient. However, you can see it does still play out here. So if you maybe get a low volume node down here, you can still catch the breakout scenario because it still does ride up. You still do have that second entry potential here if there's a low volume node and you see aggression and change in price and delta and all that. You could get the trade here. but I don't like that, small ranges like that. I like to trade breakouts in bigger ranges. So let's turn off this filter. Let's turn on the session range. And let's look at a breakout scenario for in session ranges. You can see one here. So this is 9:30 open. At 9:30 open, you can see we break out from the previous day's morning session value area low. Okay, so now we want to zoom in. Around 9:30 after this breakout, we want to look for a low volume node. So what do? First of all, let's mark out this value area low so we know where it's at. Turn this off. Now we know where the breakout is at. So it's right, this line, right? So we can say it's this candle, whatever. We also have a huge shift in delta. All this red, you can just think of the colors as, if the color's brighter, it's more aggressive. See all this red? That's a lot of aggressive selling. And you see the switch from light blue to very red aggressive selling on this breakout candle. That kind of confirms the breakout, doesn't it? I think it does. So now we're going to take this up here. We're going to look for a low volume node. We have one right here, one right here. Now what? We look for aggressor. Zoom in. At these points, is there aggression? The breakout's here, remember. So here we have a delta change. So we probably wouldn't enter around here. We'd be patient, right? This is a 5-minute candle. This happens fast, okay? Look at the delta change. If I'm seeing a delta change after aggression like this, I'm not going to enter, even if we're getting aggressive selling at this low volume node. I'd rather wait to take this low volume node, okay? You can put one contract here, maybe put your stop up here, put another contract up here. That can work. That's scaling in your position. That's 2 contracts in at like around here with your stop up here. That is a beautiful trade. That's a beautiful trade. It's a breakout scenario. We trail our stop with aggression. We go break even as soon as possible to minimize risk, and then we start trailing our stop. And I mean, look at this potential, brother. Let me turn off this big trade so we can actually see what's going on here. Let me get a short position so you can see. So we'll be in around here with that 2 contract entry. Our stop will be, let's say, the next low volume node, but like the beginning of the next low volume node. Because if we touch up here, it's a little fishy, right? We might not want to enter in it, and we want to see a lot of aggression at this point, and then see, you know, another breakout scenario, and then to come back into another low volume node at that point for a re-entry. But look at this trade. Our entry is around here. It's an easy 1.5. Let's call it a 3. Because you're trailing your stop. Let's say your stop gets stopped out around 2.5. Okay, because of this volatility here. But you can re-enter right here. How do we re-enter? Same thing. Take that profile, low volume node, boom, right here. Aggression, boom. Take the sell off. That's another trade, brother. That's another trade right there. You follow the trend. It's easy. It's cake. All right, yeah. So low volume node here. I can almost guarantee you there's aggression here. Look at this aggression here on delta change. Huge sell. That's going to give me confidence to go break even almost immediately and just ride the trade to wherever it wants to give me. That's almost a 3R right there. Of course, you're not going to ride it to the bottom. Call it an easy 2. You trail your stop, and you get stopped out around here. That's 2.5 and 2. You're done for the day, brother. That's 4.5. You're done by 10:45. This is how I trade, and this is what you guys are going to see in the live streams. So it's breakout trades like this from session ranges, or it will be a in-range back-to-balance trade. The trades that are the most efficient would be the breakout trades like this. As you can see, you can just ride the trend. Once 9:30 hits and that volatility hits and you get a breakout scenario like as beautiful as this and all of this seller's aggression here, that trend is going to ride. And you're pretty much break even immediately on these trades. And that's the beautiful thing. And then you trail the stop. This is how I trade. This happens almost every day, if not every day, every other day. Regardless of market conditions, I can either catch a breakout trade or a in-range back-to-balance trade. And so this is the trading plan. And this is what you guys will see on the live streams. And I'll catch you guys later. This is free money.